This week on the Jock and Nerd podcast, we interrupt your regularly scheduled programming, listener, to bring you the latest edition of What the Fuck Happened?
The fuck?
The Ginger Geek Matt Delhauer is back to torture himself with Omegahedrons, love potions, and the power of shadows as we try to figure out what the fuck happened to 1984's Supergirl. All that and more in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Monday, May 22nd, 2023.
Hey, it's Michael Rosenbaum, and you are listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast. Why? Because you, my friend, need to keep up with all the latest superhero and comic book TV and movie news. And nobody brings it like these guys do. Check them out.
Check. Check one. All right. This is for all you fans out there. Let's give it up. We talking, we nerding. We funny, disturbing. We talking, we nerding. We spoiler alert. Oh, yeah.
Hey, what's up, listener? How's it going? Thanks for pressing play, and welcome to the Jock and Nerd podcast, where we give you comic book and superhero, TV and movie news, reviews, and whatever we choose. Jock and Nerd. My name is Imran.
My name is Anthony.
He's the Jock.
And he's definitely the nerd.
I'm definitely the nerd. I'm not so sure he's the Jock. We'll figure that out in a bit.
All right, fine. I'm not a jock, but I did push-ups.
Okay.
I drank beer, and I looked at sports for a second.
That counts. You'll be the...
I looked at a sport.
Anthony's not with us, but you will be the Jock for this episode. Hey, quick writer's strike update. They're still on strike. But you know who's not on strike? Our guest, the Ginger Geek himself, Matt Delhauer. What's up, buddy?
Oh my God! I wish I was on strike.
Wouldn't that be nice? I kind of want. I might go on strike.
No, not even just like in general, specifically for this episode. I wish I'd gone on strike.
Well,
You and
you're
me
not,
both.
yes, I think the listener may want to go on strike from this podcast.
Oh, sorry. I guess that's not a happy enough intro. What's up, dudes?
There you go.
Yeah, bring the fakeness like I do.
Oh my God! Look at me! It's me, the persona of Matt Delhauer.
It's not the real. Well, the real Matt Delhauer.
The real Matt
Slim
Delhauer
Shady.
is depressed.
That's why we got the Ginger Geek. It's good therapy, folks. That's all.
Yeah! Oh my God! Everyone, look at the mask that is Matt Delhauer right
And
now.
we're all just going to hide ourselves from our problems and our feelings for a couple hours here to have
That's
some
what
fun.
this show is all about, kids.
Yes, it's your escape.
I'm just a clown doing a dance.
It's your escape. We got Matt Delhauer here because you've seen the title. We are doing a new entry into our fan favorite series titled What the Fuck Happened?
I mean, it was fan favorite at one point, but like it's been over a year, I think. So I'm pretty sure I'm dead in the eyes of the internet.
Well, we are there's been a big gap, but hey, look, you saw the title. We are doing What the Fuck Happened to Supergirl from 1984. This is, congratulations, everyone, the 18th edition of What the Fuck Happened. Oh, shit.
What the fuck happened is legal, y'all.
That's right. They can go out and party.
In all 50 states.
So-
Gross.
18 in we're in year 9 now. I think that's pretty impressive.
Well, no, you're 8. If we started in 2015,
oh, that's true. I mean, the podcast is in year 9. We've been podcasting for over 8 years. Yeah.
No, you guys were doing bullshit before I showed up, and then it became a real
Yeah.
show.
The first one going back to 2015.
That's not true. You needed Rug Boy to be a
We
real
need
show.
Rug Boy. We need the Delhauers. We need
Whoa,
our whole
compliment.
supporting cast and crew.
Look, I am super into myself, but I support my friends.
We support you too, Delhauer. We love you.
Oh, good, because, oh my God, I need it. I am so against myself all the time. Look at what I do. Look at what I give to you. It's just me flogging myself in front of an audience.
It's true, listener. Delhauer just tortured himself today, and he's going to do it for you. Now, I always love starting these with quick. I'm going to set up the movie, but before we get there, Delhauer, how and why did we choose Supergirl 1984 for this edition?
This came up back when we did Superman 4.
That was the last What the Fuck Happened episode.
No, it wasn't, you
It was 2
motherfucker.
ago. Yeah.
was 2 ago.
Episode
we
three-
did
yeah.
we did John Constantine
That's right.
between
Episode 347, Quest for Peace, Superman 4. Yes.
that. Oh my God, 347. That's so
I know, and we're on
long
we're on
ago.
487 for this one.
487. Holy shit. Oh God, I'm bad at what I do. Yes, when we did Superman 4 in the conversation about that, we talked about Superman 3, which I mean we'll probably do at some point. We talked about Supergirl, and at one point we were like, we should do that movie. And I went, yeah, I guess we will one day. And one day came because it's just what I picked off the list, and I really regret having done that.
Yeah, well, and listen, I thank you for the torture you're about to put yourself into. A couple of things about this movie. I'm going to give you some quick info. This is the first live-action appearance of the character of Supergirl, from based on character from DC Comics. Haven't had many Supergirls, if you think about it, throughout the year.
3?
Well,
now?
so the next one after this would have been Laura Vandervoort on Smallville, if you're going to count that one.
Right.
Oh, I never saw Smallville, so 4,
And that- yes.
counting the Flash movie that's
Yes,
coming
and
out.
then the longest running one, Melissa Benoist, not a bad Supergirl at all. I kind of
Not a bad one at all.
I kind of dug the last few seasons of that show, CW.
You know what I love about the CW shows is they start off really fucking lame, and then CW stops caring about them, and so they just are like, oh, you know what we're gonna do? Whatever the fuck we want, and it becomes entertaining.
It's true that season 1 of Supergirl was like on CBS, and it wasn't that great. And then they booted it to CW, and like it got kind of okay. Then you just mentioned this. We're about a month away from the Flash movie finally coming out, and Sasha Calle is playing yet another Supergirl. And then I think that's a one and done because James Gunn's rebooting everything and has planned another Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow movie. Probably going to recast.
I would love to tell all of you that I chose to do Supergirl as a tie-in to be like, you know, relevant to the Flash movie coming out. But I'm not that good at SEO.
Oh, wow. I thought you did because there's so many articles coming out now.
Literally, it was just the thing at the top of the list that I wrote in my phone one day. And I looked and I went,
serendipity.
Supergirl. Yeah, I guess I'll watch that shit.
Just take the win on that one. That's why it's like perfect doing this now.
This is the thing about me is like I somehow just bullshit my way into seeming like a competent podcaster, voice actor, comedian, writer, things like that.
You stumble into it, but you nail the landing. That's all that matters.
Yeah, it's just like, you know, it's what I like to call the story of being a white guy. Is like, did I plan it? No. Did it work out? Fuck yeah.
Must be nice. Even though I look white, none of that shit ever happened to me. I missed out on the whole
Now give
fucking
me the
thing.
money.
All right, a little bit more context. This movie came out late fall 1984.
Oh, don't even give it that much. This is November. This was holidays.
This is like almost
84.
Halloween. Yes, this was holidays 84. Yeah, Christmas, Thanksgiving. You're right. Holidays 1984. Now, 1984, a fucking phenomenal year.
Oh,
for
do you
movies.
want me to list
Yes.
off the movies that came out in 1984?
Yes,
All right. So a little bit of the what the fuck happened before we even get into the movie itself. This movie was originally slated to come out in the summer of 1984. Here are the movies that came out in the summer of 1984 that overall did better than Supergirl did in the box office.
Here comes a long list.
Ghostbusters, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, Gremlins, Star Trek III, The Search for Spock, Karate Kid, Purple Rain, Romancing the Stone, Conan the Destroyer, The Last Starfighter,
Wow.
Red Dawn, Revenge of the Nerds, Police Academy,
God.
The Muppets Take Manhattan, 16 Candles, The Never-Ending Story, Splash, and Footloose.
This is the summer of 1984?
That is the summer
shit.
of 84.
Not to mention, Terminator came out that year. This is Spinal Tap.
And then the movies that came out in the holiday season of 1984 that did better than Supergirl, including Beverly Hills Cop, The Terminator, Chuck Norris's Missing in Action, David Lynch's version of Dune, and John Carpenter's Starman.
Amazing year. Those are all great movies. This is not one of those caliber movies.
This is not one.
what it is, it's the fourth film in the Superman film series, actually set after Superman 3 from 1983, and kind of like crazy doing a shared universe before shared universes. This is a spin-off in that universe.
The closest thing you can say to this being a shared universe is a radio broadcast, a poster that hangs up in a dorm room for a girls' school, and Jimmy fucking
Okay,
Olsen.
yeah, there's one character. That counts. There's one fucking character.
Oh, I'm not saying it doesn't count.
Dude.
I'm saying it's bullshit.
That dude, that's the only dude that's been in all the Superman movies from the 80s. He has that record, right?
He does.
On Rotten Tomatoes, this movie is sitting at, out of 36 reviews, it's an older movie, 8%.
Sloppy Jock.
You know, we're going to have to go back and do a look, but I'm pretty sure that sits within the bottom. Oh God, I want to say like not even like the bottom third. That's like the bottom fifth of the movies we've done.
I ran the numbers.
Oh, good.
This is tied for the lowest Rotten Tomato score for any what the fuck movie with Catwoman. Also,
no fucking way.
8%.
So you'd think I'd know that, but like I said, I'm bad at what I do.
Catwoman 2004. So that's one of our qualifications for what the fuck happened movie. That checks the box, 8%.
Holy shit! What's its aggregate score?
3.4 out of 10.
Oh my God, it's even worse. Oh fuck me!
Here's the other criteria for what the fuck happened movie. It checks this box too. The movie was made for $35 million. Finishes the box office run with $14 million.
$14 million.
There's box number 2.
That's bad. That's really bad.
Couldn't even get to half.
And again, remember, any budget that you read, double that for potential marketing.
Yeah.
And especially in the 80s, they didn't have the internet, so that shit's all posters, trailers, TV commercials, product tie-ins, all that shit.
Yeah, Burger King burgers and shit. Yeah.
ANW root beer is all over this fucking movie, and I guarantee you she showed up on cases of
there
cola.
was like a Popeyes chicken fucking tie-in, obviously.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. That they was
the classic 7-Eleven Slurpee cup tie-in.
Yeah. So you're right about that's the only connections to the original movie. There's one more connection. Producer Ilya Salkind, the only other name that's connected to the movies. But this one directed by Zeno Schwartz. I don't know how you say his name.
Hold on. Let me.
That's a French ass name.
It is a French ass name. It's Zeno Swarak.
Oh, Zeno Swarak, you may know as the director of such things as Jaws 2 and Somewhere in Time that had Christopher Reeve. Oh, Christopher Reeve in that movie. This movie is from a screenplay by David Odell. Here's what he wrote. The Muppet Show, The Dark Crystals, and also wrote on Masters of the Universe. Is this all starting to make sense here?
The show or the movie?
The Masters of the Universe, the movie Masters of the Universe.
Dark Crystal movie.
The truth of it is, if it wasn't for the fact that it was 100% original concept, Dark Crystal is one of those movies that sadly would wind up on this list.
Oh, man. But I love the Netflix, that Netflix show is fucking great.
No, so here's the thing. I do enjoy, or at least I remember enjoying, Dark Crystal the movie at some point in my, mid-teens when I first saw it. Because the first time I ever saw it before that, I was a kid, and that movie was fucking upsetting. Never-ending story upsetting.
See? That...
Yeah, nightmare fuel.
That's how they used to make them for us kids. I missed that. Okay, here's where it gets even weirder. This cast. I'm going to give you the cast. This is a fucking weird, eclectic, kind of random group of people thrown together to make a movie. Cast as Supergirl, you have a very young Helen Slater. I believe she was unknown at the time.
Fairly unknown at the point.
And
I think she maybe had, one credit before this.
And who do you have? Oscar winner, Faye Dunaway. It won an Oscar for Network at this point. Oscar winner Peter O'Toole, who won an Oscar for fucking Lawrence of Arabia, I think.
Yep.
Mia Farrow. Just a little movie.
Tiny independent
film. Mia Farrow, Brenda Vaccaro. You got a dude named Peter Cook, Mark McClure, of course, coming back as Jimmy Olsen, Hart Bochner, who we see later in the decade in that Die Hard.
I was going to say, for anyone who doesn't recognize that name, he's the cokehead Ellis from Die
he's the
Hard.
asshole dude with the beard.
And Matt Frewer, isn't it?
Yes.
So, but just fucking Faye Dunaway, Peter O'Toole, Mia Farrow, Brenda Vaccaro, like, what the fuck? That's odd.
It's one of those types of movies where I see some of the cast, and the first thing I think is either A, who did you owe money to?
Yes. Who's blackmailing you?
Or B, what have these producers seen you do?
Well, this is my guess. Isn't this the movie before The Quest for Peace?
Yes, it is.
So
This is the movie that led to them selling the rights to canon.
So Superman had still not been a complete shit show. The Richard Pryor one is not everyone's favorite at all. And I think that was the downward spiral, but like the quality was still in that one.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
They still were trying to make a big budget movie.
Warner Brothers was still pumping money into the franchise at that point.
So at this point, the name recognition with the S is actually good. So they probably thought they were going to be in a good movie.
Well, I'll touch on this later, but I feel like a big part of it was a majority of the cast they brought in was brought in at a time where they were still convinced Christopher Reeve would be in this movie as Superman.
Yeah, we will get into all that in the What the Fuck Happened segment, but that explains a lot of things when you watch this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, last thing, when this show posts, you will be able to watch this. It's available right now, but it's available it'll be Max. By the time this show posts, it won't be purple HBO Max.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
It's going to be blue Max, and it's
Jesus Christ, the last week of HBO
this is the last
Max.
day. Yeah, this is literally the last day.
Oh, no, it's the last thing I watched on HBO Max.
I mean, it's still there. It's just called Max.
Oh, no. I need to watch something
just to
else.
clean the palate, just as a tradition, as custom. It's the stupidest name. Anyways, watch along. Also, listener, if you want to join the conversation, we have a great Facebook group. It's called Jock and Nerd Nation. We're all in there. Delhauer is in there, I think.
No, he's not.
Or maybe he's not in there.
Well, I would be if I didn't discontinue my Facebook, because I have very little reason beyond that to do it, and I love you guys, but you guys can reach me other places.
Yeah, you can find them.
Yell at me on Twitter. Follow my Instagram to see pictures of me being like, look at me.
Well, look, listen, join the group for reactions and suggestions to our What the Fuck Happened series. We'd love to have you geek out in there.
And who knows, maybe I'll show up more often on the podcast if I try harder.
All right, there's the setup. It's 1984. We're in a theater. People are smoking. The floor is sticky.
Everybody's smoking. Everyone's got popcorn, and Reagan is
The
president.
lights go down. You may have just seen a trailer for something called Back to the Future with that kid from Family Ties.
That movie can't. It's got.
I don't know if that's going to be any good, but it's coming out next year. Anyways, lights go dark, credits go up. Cue Delhauer.
Here we go. The first thing that we come across in the Supergirl movie is me recognizing this movie is going to be 2 hours. And I wrote, uh-oh. Beyond that, we then get immediately into the credit sequence for this film, which is like kind of purplish clouds. And you think, whoa, that seems like eerie and a little ethereal and otherworldly. And you get these shiny, chrome-looking credits that come up telling you that Faye Dunaway's in this movie. Heather Slater's in this movie. And then it does that for another 3 fucking minutes.
It's weird they put Faye Dunaway's name first of all. And second of all, I read they spent $1 million on these fucking credits.
It's not weird that they put Faye Dunaway's name first, because
nobody knew Helen.
She's a star, and Heather Slater's a fucking nobody.
Helen Slater.
It doesn't matter.
No,
I'm not going to get it right now. I think I wrote it as Heather throughout this thing, so I'm very sorry to Helen Slater. But anyway, it's 3 straight minutes of these credits to the point where we are finding out who the first AD on this movie is in these fucking credits. You don't need that shit above the line at the beginning of the movie. I'll find out who the first AD is after I'm done being pissed that I sat through this. Anyway, I had to switch over from my PlayStation to going off of Google Chrome because for some reason HBO Max kept like pausing every 30 seconds for like a half second, and I was going to lose my shit.
Yeah, that's torture.
I had to move to my phone to make sure that it was just the PlayStation and not HBO Max, because if it was HBO Max, I was going to tell Imran, fuck you, we're not doing this tonight, goodbye.
I would have been all right with that.
So anyway, the first thing we see after the credits are done is a big glowing crystal, I think. Maybe. It seems to be what I'm looking at in the middle of darkness. But it turns out, you know what that is? That's the city of Argo. Or so I'm told. As we get
from the Ben Affleck movie?
Oh,
it's oh man, let me tell you. The Ben Affleck movie tells a very different story about the city of Argo.
Oh, okay.
By the way, I couldn't tell what this thing was from the very beginning.
It's supposed to be the city of Kandor, isn't it?
It is. As far as the comics are concerned, yes. But here's the problem. This movie doesn't give a shit about what the comics might tell you. Because we get so much information in the first 5 minutes of this movie. And I could not tell you what a single bit of that was.
Yeah.
I read the subtitles, so I remember it.
I had the subtitles on, and I don't.
What is this gibberish?
It helps me remember things when I read
We're
it.
in the crystal fucking stage in Hollywood that's apparently also the city of Argo, in which we meet Kara, who seems to be an adult but is also in classes with little children.
Right.
Yep.
She's special.
Which tells me that she has the brain of a child.
Yeah, why is she the oldest one in this class? Yeah.
And she comes across Zaltar, played by Peter O'Toole, who clearly owed somebody a lot of money.
Oh my God, Peter O'Toole is hilarious.
And he is explaining to Kara that he has a magic wand that lets him just build things, I guess. And he builds a weird structure, and she goes, "What's that?" And he goes, "It's a tree." Or at least I think it is. And she's like from Earth? How the fuck do you know what Earth is? How the fuck do any of you know any of this shit?
By the way, the set also, just got to mention, it looks like an IKEA store made out of like dried semen. I don't know how else to describe it.
It is literally the idea of if a spider web just turned into solid glass.
Yeah, it's very weird.
And so then Zaltar shows off, by the way, I stole the Omegahedron, which from outside of here, because I actually wrote it down, I'm never going to remember the name of this thing. It's going to be called the MacGuffin or the Mega Hexa thing.
Yeah.
So here's the thing that, based on the information I've gained throughout the whole movie, I need to try and suss out. So he says that he borrowed the Omegahedron, which is like the power source of this weird crystal city that is encased in, quote, inner space.
Yeah.
To which Kara says, "You stole it?" And he says, "No, I borrowed it." But we later learn, by the time that Kara leaves Argo City, or Argon City, or whatever the fuck it's called, I don't remember, that he is the person who not only built and created this city, he runs it. So who the fuck did he steal this from?
That's a good point.
If he is the person who runs this fucking city?
Yeah, they don't even make it clear like what him borrowing it does to the city. It's like they need it. It powers the city.
Well, what I love
does
is that she borrows his magic wand and builds a fucking dragonfly with it. And then while he's talking to her parents, he's hiding the fact that he has it and kicks it away, and it just rolls by her. And then suddenly it powers her dragonfly thing that she built with the magic wand to rip a hole in the city.
Oh my God.
Which sucks the mega super hexo thingy out the door.
Yeah.
Almost pulls her out of it as well, which is when I wrote, "Oh, So she's a fucking moron.
This is what I don't understand. If this thing is powerful enough to run the city, why is it in your pocket? Why did you put it under your foot all willy-nilly and roll it and you're just...
I think he was giving it to her for some reason.
No, he was hiding it from her parents so they didn't know that he had it.
But then you're going to
Because he, the leader and ruler and creator of this space, apparently is not allowed to be in possession of the main power source of their city.
Yeah, Kryptonians are weird like that.
Dude, but if this thing is so important, you're just fucking willy-nilly throwing it around, and then it flies out the window, and apparently this place is shielded by plastic wrap. Is that what what's going on?
So she almost gets sucked out of the hole because it's like putting a fucking hole in the hull of a goddamn spaceship.
Yes.
And then they just seal it up, and they're like, what did you do? And he's like, okay, look, I fucked up. But I might be able to fix it if I take that weird little spaceship capsule I built that can get me out of... Oh, fuck, Kara took that. And she just runs off with it. And then he's like, well, I guess I'm going to go to the Phantom Zone and be punished for all eternity for being bad at my job. Why is this your fault? She's a fucking idiot. And her parents turn around and look, how dare you let this happen? What am I going to do? Your daughter's the fucking moron.
So she presumably went after the thing.
We think.
Yeah,
I don't
sure.
know. Because so far, the 5 minutes that this movie's been going on, A, it's entirely impenetrable. And B, as far as I can tell, she's a fucking adult with the brain of a 5-year-old.
Yeah, nothing makes sense in this movie from the very beginning.
Fuck! So anyway, she leaves. And then suddenly we cut to a couple who's having a picnic at the side of a lake. What we're built to believe is that this city lives within quote-unquote inner space, and she's traveling to outer space.
Whatever that fucking means.
Which means she's leaving the quantum realm and going into real life, I guess. Because we get 5 minutes of her sitting inside of a pod, just watching weird green screen bubbles and shit.
It's the worst green screen Matt, and it's like the cheesiest, like 70s psychedelic trippy liquid, like when you mix oil with water and detergent and light it and swirl it around.
If this movie had come out 10 years earlier, it still would have been fucking old.
Yeah, it's so bad looking.
Like, this is some weird Logan's Run bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so she's going through that. We then cut to a couple, Faye Dunaway and whoever the fuck the other guy is. I don't actually care.
A very British-looking man.
Nigel.
Sitting on top of a tiger skin rug next to a lake having a picnic.
Yeah.
If you ever wanted to tell me that your character, without ever saying a word, is the villain of the story, they need to be picnicking on top of an animal skin and having the immediate conversation about, I need to be ruling the world by now.
They're drinking champagne.
Who the fuck are you, lady? And why would I assume that's a thing you can do?
Yeah, this is a confusing intro to this. I was like, who the fuck is this lady? What is going on?
To which point, Nigel then goes like, well, if you want to rule the world, you need to be invisible. At which point you need to get 4 beans and the head of a dead man, and you put one in his mouth. What is happening?
What is he talking about?
What is going on right now?
A good movie, that's what.
Where the fuck am I?
Film.
None of this movie makes sense.
And then the MacGuffin of the movie just falls into the fucking pudding.
It flies out of the sky, right? Flies out of the sky.
And it doesn't. You don't even see it come out from anywhere. It just falls from the sky into their food.
But it lands like someone just dropped it in the cup instead of shooting it through space, and it would have destroyed everything. Yeah.
And then at which point she just takes it and is like, well, this is going to be my source of power for world domination. And gets in her car, at which point Nigel's like, you can't abandon me, I have the keys. And she holds it up to the car and it just starts running. And it plays this little radio bit about Superman has left Earth to go into peace treaty talks with a galaxy 3 trillion starlight miles away.
Yep.
It's like, okay.
That's how we find out where Chris Reeve's Superman is.
He's
And
fucking
she-
off somewhere
And
far
she-
away.
yes.
Yeah.
And she drives off, and it's like, okay, so here's a thing I need to understand, because earlier there's a point when Zoltar, Peter O'Toole, is building a fake tree with his magic wand. He says, it's a thing from Earth. And Kara says, Earth, where my cousin went? How do you know that? Your cousin was launched from your planet as it blew up.
Yes, it's a good point.
Where the fuck were you and anybody else who's in this city of Argo that's inside of inner space?
Yeah, they were running their ass scared off the planet just as well, just like they were.
Yeah, they're like, what's our contingency plan? We're gonna shrink ourselves into inner space. Okay, let's do it.
Let's go.
Fan-fucking-tastic. And then she emerges from the lake.
No. First of all, she's in that ball,
Yes, that's true.
and then suddenly she just has
out of nowhere,
yes,
is now wearing a Supergirl costume.
yes. What?
A thing that in the canon of Superman
Yes,
was designed and created by his Earth adoptive mother
yes.
out of a blanket he was left in the pod that he shot to Earth from.
Right.
So why
How does she
would her
know?
traveling from inner space to outer space mean she'd just suddenly be wearing this?
Because the movie wanted it to
Where
happen.
did this costume come from? Why does it look like this? And the fucking ball opens like while she's still in the hyperspace chamber, and she's fine. Nothing.
She's like,
no
these
problem.
are my clothes.
Yeah, it's not a costume. These are my clothes. Since fucking when? You were fucking running around in rags a minute ago.
And then what happens, Delhauer? This is confusing.
She comes emerging from the lake.
Okay, pause right the fuck there. What? Hold on. We just saw the fucking Orby thing that came from the same place, fly through the fucking sky, land in a teacup. Why does she come out of the fucking water and
Like the
lands?
birth of Venus. I don't know.
And she lands and she's completely dry.
What this tells me is that inner space exists within the molecule of water within the lake, which means the city of Argo has always been on Earth.
What? By the way, production note, I read this. That shot of her coming out of the water, you know what that is? It's a fucking cardboard cutout of her. They couldn't get.
Yes, it is.
They couldn't get her or a stunt double, and they pull a cardboard cutout of a fucking Supergirl out of the water.
By strings.
What the fuck? Okay, go.
She emerges from the lake, lands on the lake side, and the first thing she finds is a stone, and is so fascinated by it that she's holding it and looking at it, and then she crushes it in her hands and it falls into dust, and she's so elated by the fact that she can crush rocks. She doesn't know what rocks are.
She doesn't know what anything is at this point.
And then she finds a flower, and her immediate instinct is to pluck it from the ground. She doesn't know what it is, and then she shoots it with her laser beam eyes, and it blooms in front of her. Oh, isn't that so fun? You don't know what's happening. You don't know what you're doing.
What is happening? Why did it do that?
Why would this work? Why does your laser vision make a dead flower bloom? What is happening here? And then she is so elated by that flower, she jumps in the air and learns she can fly. She can fly, she can fly, she can fly.
And she flies badly.
Why would she ever assume anyone on this planet can't fly? Because she doesn't know anything about Earth, other than the fact that her cousin lives there.
Well, I would debate that.
Do you think she knew some stuff they teach you at Argonne? Like, because that's a
Because
big point.
when she checks herself into the school, she knows how to file something and write
she
a paper.
knows all sorts of shit, and I'm like, how do you know what any of this is? What the fuck is happening?
So we then get, like, I want to say 20 minutes. It was probably 5, but dear God, did it feel like 20 minutes of her just flying around the world.
Yeah.
Now, when she left the city of Argo, I believe is the name of it, they said that literally like one day without the super dexahedron, whatever it is, would destroy the city. They'd run out of power, they wouldn't be able to breathe, and everyone would fucking die.
She's just fucking around, flying around the planet.
She just flies around from daylight until nighttime, doing whatever.
Also, if you notice, more bad compositing, and sometimes the plate background shot angle does not match the angle that she is fucking flying. It is just so bad.
The next note I have written is, we are 20 minutes into this movie, and it has felt like an hour.
Yeah, it does go really, really slow.
We then catch up with Selena, our villain, played by Faye Dunaway, in her movie set studio apartment that I'm pretty sure is meant to be an actual apartment, because then her best friend, I have it written somewhere.
Oh, what's her name? Brenda Vaccaro. Bianca.
Yeah.
Bianca, her best friend Bianca, comes out talking about how, like, oh, the water department or like the power department, they're like hounding us again. And she talks about how, oh, with this new source of power, none of those will ever be a problem. But like, you live in an apartment that's also built on the set of Batman the TV show.
I think
from
it's an abandoned
1966.
funhouse.
Yeah, it's like an abandoned haunted house carnival. What the fuck? What is this place?
I am not 100%
Why is she
certain
there?
that they are the same set. Because the first one, when they are there, I don't know if it's supposed to be the same thing, but I believe it's meant to be an apartment, and then they move into the fun house at the fucking amusement park
like
later.
Both. It starts out, and then she walks, and then there's just like a refrigerator, like it's a kitchen.
Well, then I'm
What
giving
the
them
fuck?
way too much credit, because why does the city water know that you're living in this fucking amusement park and threatening to shut your water off like you live in an apartment?
It's the weirdest place. It's like the set of Son of Svengoolie or something. I don't know what's going on here.
But like from then on, there's almost maybe 4 scenes in the rest of this movie with Faye Dunaway that don't take place in this one like apartment / fun house set.
Yeah, it's strange.
And it's very obvious that they got her for like a few days, and she said, I'm not leaving California. They're bitching and moaning about how they're about to get kicked out of their apartment, I guess. And then it's, oh no, but I also have this this new thing of power, and it's going to make me the ruler of the world. So that was a scene. It's now nighttime, and Supergirl lands in the middle of, I guess, Metropolis. I don't know where we're supposed to be right now.
She flies past Chicago. There's a lot of Chicago.
She's like, fuck that place.
Yeah, to a small town near Peoria, apparently, called Midvale, Illinois.
Well, the thing she finds in Midvale, Illinois, is a couple of rapist truck drivers.
Yes.
Yes. 40s to the 80s.
She lands in the middle of the street, at which point the truck very slowly approaches her and honks its horn as if she's in the way. And not like they could maybe run her over if they wanted to, because they're pretty sure she's just a woman. At which point, 2 men get out and approach her and are just like, we're gonna fucking rape you because we're white men in a movie. And she's like, don't you dare do that. Why would you do that? And one of them literally responds with, this is just what we're like.
One of them is Max Headroom, by the way.
It's just the way we are, is the line that he gives as they attempt to force themselves on her.
I see.
Right.
She literally throws one through a wall with her ice breath and then lasers the other guy's switchblade with her eyes to make it burn his hand, and then she throws him through a wall.
But
and
my favorite part is after she burns.
Yeah, what does
the
he
thing,
say?
He's like,
she
"Now
flies away.
now-" he's like, now I'm going to get rough or something like that.
He goes, you really want to... She burns the knife and he drops it. He just saw a girl shoot heat laser beams out of his eyes, and his response is, you really want to play games, sweetheart? What?
She tells them that she is the cousin of Superman and is looking for him. And they're like, yeah, whatever, nice costume. At which point, she just exhales and a guy falls through a fucking wooden wall.
Yeah.
And then laser beams a dude's knife with her eyes, and he's like, "Oh, I see you want to play games, huh, baby?" And then she throws him through a wall and flies away, and then he calls out to his rapist buddy, "Hey, Eddie, maybe we won't talk about this ever, huh? You should both be dead."
Yeah, it's an embarrassing story. I can see how you wouldn't want to tell anyone, but yes, you should both be dead.
Outside of the fact that you all got, quote, beat up by a girl, you both are fucking rapists for no reason other than apparently, as you see it, that's just who you are as people. Maybe
Brilliant writing.
the fact that neither of you are dead is a fucking miracle right now.
Yes.
But yeah, please, talk about how you're not going to tell anybody about how the one woman you tried to rape beat you up. Oh, how embarrassing, you fucking shitheads. Oh, I hate this movie.
Yes, that's the reaction I want.
All right, so this is probably the third time so far that I have "what the fuck is happening" written in my notes.
The fuck?
Yes.
Because we then move on to Selena is having a party at their apartment, and the first thing that you see is a man on a tiny little train riding in through the wall with a tray of drinks. And then you realize, oh, you're on the set of Batman 66.
It is very Batman 66.
And it's just this whole thing where then Nigel is like trying to talk her into be like, "Oh, hey, you tried to ditch me, but I'm here now. You don't know what you're doing with that power. So if you don't want me, I'll just find somebody else." And he talks to wherever the fuck this mousy blonde woman is, who's all like, "I want to be rich and powerful." And he's like, "Well, stick with me, baby, and you'll get that." And then Selena uses her witch powers to make her eat a scorpion and then fly around the room on her head.
Oh my god. I'm like, what is happening here? What is this silly
And
fucking shit?
this is the point where I think, like, I'm 30 minutes into this movie and I'm really sad that I'm watching this. And that's, like, pretty much the end of the scene. Like, she then talks to Nigel again, and he's like, "Well, if you're going to be a bully, why don't you pick on me?" And he just leaves, and that's the end of that fucking scene.
So,
Why were we here? What is happening right now? Where are we?
Me during this movie is like, I don't think the writing could get any worse than this. And I'm like, oh,
And it-
yeah, they
and
did
it
it.
does.
Oh.
My next note is, we're 30 minutes in, and I wish I was dead. So, after she was attacked by rapists, Kara decided to go sleep in a park. She wakes up the next morning just like in the grass with a bunny, and it's like, oh, isn't that cute? But she's also like sleeping just outside of the outfield of the baseball field for an all-girls school, I guess.
Yeah.
So she's like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to disguise myself as a student at this school. And I thought, no, you barely have an A plot. We don't have time for a B plot.
what are we going? Where are we going?
Oh, no, not a hunky guy cutting trees down,
yes.
please.
Oh, there's a romantic interest now being forced into this.
And then it turns out Nigel's a teacher here? Why? Why are we here?
Of
What's
course.
happening now?
Why is this all being tied to this school?
And so then she goes to meet the principal, and he gives her shit for walking in without knocking.
Wait, but what is this power where she could just walk behind a tree and completely change her outfit and her hair color? What the fuck is this?
Imran, this is not the time to start questioning the power
that
of fucking
happens.
Kryptonians.
She goes back behind a tree and now she's dressed as I'm like, how did you even know she saw them? But what the fuck just happened here? Okay, go on.
It's just...
The writing
don't-
just keeps getting worse. That's what's happening.
It really is. So now she's a brunette who's decided that her name is Linda Lee because why the fuck not?
God. She saw
I don't know where Linda came from, but she named herself after fucking General
Lee.
Robert E. Lee.
Yeah, she saw the poster.
Which I guess means that like this this all girls school is in the South.
Southern Illinois counts. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, it's
Sure.
pretty racist over
Yeah, a
there.
little bit.
But anyway, so then, like, the guy's like, well, I don't have any paperwork saying that you're going to be here. And she's like, oh, really? And he leaves, so she uses her Kryptonian speed to forge paperwork.
Dude, she goes over and uses a fucking typewriter. How does she know what any of this is?
She doesn't know what a rock is.
She knows the paperwork to fill out and what a filing cabinet is, what a typewriter is all of a sudden. What?
And then she tells him, oh, well, I'm sure you got the paperwork from my cousin, Clark Kent. What? How
did she know that?
When did you ever hear the name Clark Kent?
His name is Kal-El. The fuck?
Why would you ever know the name Clark Kent?
Because they like talk on the phone and stuff.
Oh, do they?
Oh, the inner space phone.
Yeah.
The inner space internet.
That's a good point.
Superman knows all about it, you know?
So it turns out that's good enough. She now goes to the school, and she's going to be roommates with one... Oh, fuck, what was it? Lucy Lane.
Maybe he visited Argo. Could that have happened? No, I don't know.
Okay.
Lucy Lane,
I think there might have been a version of the story where Superman had the city of Kandor and the Fortress of Solitude.
There was a whole like plot in Superman 3 that was supposed to revolve around Supergirl.
Yeah.
That got cut.
Yeah, they were going to set all this up.
And this movie acts as if that never happened.
That's dead on. Yes.
So she's now roommates with Lucy Lane, the little sister of Lois Lane. Ironically enough, because there's only 5 people in the whole world. So why not be friends with the little sister of your cousin's fuck buddy?
Good coincidence. There's a Lucy Lane, I think, in the comics and in that show.
I don't care.
Jenna Dewan plays her. Yeah.
So she then here's the moment that I think is probably one of the most upsetting moments of this movie.
No.
When she sees the full Superman poster on the wall in Lucy's dorm room, and you can just read on Kara's face how sexually aroused she is.
She wants to fuck her cousin.
By seeing Superman.
Let's just put it out there.
Because she wants to fuck Kal-El.
She wants to fuck her cousin, absolutely. 100%.
And here's the thing. I don't know if that's just a thing that happens amongst Kryptonians.
Oh, sure. Like it's different in different cultures.
Like, look, man. For all I know, in Kryptonian culture, it's just like, yeah, you go to school, you fuck your cousin.
It's like Game of Thrones.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's a whole planet of fucking Lannisters.
Exactly.
So she is visibly aroused by this poster.
Maybe that's how they're wired.
Then Lucy's like, I kind of know Superman. Maybe I can introduce you. Bitch, you don't know Superman. You fucking liar. Anyway, where are we now?
Well, now she's in her room and she's looking for a place to sleep.
Oh, right. So she apparently has a glow bracelet that, tells her when the MacGuffin, because I forgot the name at this point.
The dodecahedron. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Something.
Whenever it's nearby.
The rhododendron,
And so, for no reason at all, Selena and her stupid little toady are just following a bus that leads back to fucking Nigel's school. And, suddenly the little MacGuffin thing starts reacting, and she's like, oh, it must be reacting to that gardener I want to fuck. That means he must be my husband as I take over the world. And that becomes the fucking plot of the movie.
I don't ever know what she wants in this whole fucking movie. It doesn't make any sense.
I also love that there's a point where she's staring at her bracelet, and then Nigel's like, you seem to have been, spacing out, Linda Lee. What were you solving the equation I have on the board? And she's like, yes, I was, and gives him the answer.
Yeah, he's shocked. He's like,
how did you know that?
You're looking at my notes.
And then at which point she's pulled out of the room by Lucy, and Lucy's like, hey, how did you know that? And she's like, I just solved it. She goes, well, don't ever do that again because no one will like you. It's like, great. here's a lesson for you, ladies. Don't be smart because no one will fucking like you.
Great message.
Well,
Next page.
less people will like you.
Some people will still.
Anyway, we had them playing softball before, and now they're going to play field hockey because women. And in the middle of this field hockey game, there's apparently bullies at the school now, and they bully Lucy, and then they try to bully Lucy again, but Kara steps in, and she gets in the way of a field hockey ball that explodes on her back.
Because that's what balls do.
That's what balls do when they hit anything hard. Yes, they don't bounce
Let me
off.
tell you, because the one thing I've learned from this movie is that you should have all of your balls explode on the back of women.
Also,
Yes,
when did,
that's a subtle message that you
when
should take
did she
home.
learn how to play this fucking game? Did they have to explain it to her?
Oh my God, Imran.
She's just
We
playing
are
like
far beyond
she's just-
asking questions
she's just-
at this point,
she's
dude.
playing like she's playing her whole. I'm like, what the fuck? How do you know what any of this is, girl?
If I wanted answers, I would have fucking quit by now. So anyway, next up, shower scene.
Yeah, finally.
And the bullies are trying to fuck with the shower so they can scald all the girls in there with burning hot water.
Yeah,
That-
burnt boobs.
That is bad. That's worse. That's
And literally,
crispy
I
teeth.
don't know who these bullies are.
Yeah.
I don't know their names, but they are out for fucking burnt flesh.
this is it's not just a prank. They want to maim
Because
people.
they're sore
This-
losers.
Yes.
This is literally terrorism.
Yes. Like what the
And
fuck?
so, Kara, with her super hearing, overhears them talking about this, and so she uses her laser vision to shoot through the tiles of the wall
Yeah.
without damaging the wall,
Yeah.
to superheat the wrench they're using to fuck with the pipes, and then shoot them with water. And then they run out, soaking wet in their clothes, while everyone else in this area are fucking naked.
And they say some kind of, we'll get you later or something.
And like one of them is like Lucy's like, you never looked better. It's like, what are you talking about? They're just wet
They're
and
just-
wearing a sweater.
Where they burnt and then like water starts spurting out.
And then as they're running out, one of them's like, I'll get all of you. And they never come back
no, that
again
that never comes up again. And
in the rest of the movie.
how was she able to shoot the laser through the wall and not affect the wall? Why did the water
This-
start bursting for no reason out of the pipe on the other? What is happening? What
We're not even halfway through this
what the
movie.
fuck is this movie?
What is happening now? Oh, God. I also wrote, why do they keep demanding all of these girls get into their underwear? Aren't they children? Because then the next scene is literally her in her dorm room with Lucy, and Lucy's like, I'm going away for the weekend, and I'm going to meet up with my boyfriend, Jimmy Olsen. And then she just gets into her underwear. I'm like, what? Why are we doing this? Like, it's this weird thing where we're trying to build the idea that Lucy's like this tomboy who doesn't fit into the stereotype of being a girly girl,
Right.
but we also keep massively sexualizing her the whole time we do it. Oh, the 80s. Anyway, Jimmy Olsen's in this movie.
Yes, I recognize him from the other Superman movies.
And
yeah.
we'll deal with him soon because we have to also have Kara go flying again because she's a superhero. And we shot a lot of flying footage, and we need to use it. So she's going to fly over top of, like, Wrigley Stadium.
Yeah, all over Chicago.
And at least a few other Chicago landmarks.
Well, she's looking for the Robo-Megatron thing.
Yeah, the Ronda
Yes.
Rousey.
Yeah, she's trying to find the Allspark.
Yes,
Yeah,
up
whatever
to-
that thing is. The Tecahoja Dodo.
yes.
And it was only at this point when apparently Selena called and asked the random like groundskeeper for the school to come and like take care of the grass at her house that I realized, holy shit, they live at an amusement park.
Yes, it was daytime. You could clearly
I
see.
also realized, oh my God, this guy's a fucking moron. Because he just drives into an amusement park and starts, like, pressing a button on the outside of the funhouse, being like, hello?
He's like, this looks right. Yeah.
I'm here to cut your grass.
There's no grass anywhere.
Oh.
It's all dirt.
Oh, no, you're an idiot. And possibly gay. because she starts like trying to seduce him with her love potion that she made, and he's all like, "No thanks, ma'am. I'm happily single right now." And then she poisons him with it, and he passes out. And that was the point where I have written in my notes, "Is this dude a fucking Baldwin?"
Baldwin.
Because he looks like one of the Baldwin brothers.
Oh, he does look like the random Baldwin brother.
And then I have written under it, "It's Ellis from Die Hard?"
Yep. Hart Buckner.
So, wow. Also, there's a point where, God, what's his name? Eustace? Nigel, thank you. It's a fucking British name. I know, it's something. He shows up again, and she makes a comment about, "If it's the Jehovah's Witnesses again, I swear to God." And I went, "The JW visit you at your apartment in the abandoned amusement park?" You know, where you have swinging doors that don't lock.
Saloon doors. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I've written here, "Those doors don't lock. Why did you not just walk in?"
That's why they go there.
Yeah, it's easy.
They're like, "Hey, we can get in."
So while they're arguing with Nigel, the man who we would later find out is named
Ethan.
Ethan,
yes.
Ethan. I thought it was Keith, but it's Ethan. Close.
Yeah,
it's Keithan.
It's Keithan.
He wakes up and wanders out. And they make a comment about the first person he sees, he's going to fall in love with. And this man walks through a crowd of like 100 people.
Well, first he's in like a haunted house that's part of where she lives.
He's wandering through the weird like haunted funhouse thing where like fucking spiders are jumping out. He's like, "Oh, whoa, oh no!" And then when they like find him with their mirror on the wall,
yes.
He's walking down Main Street.
Yes, and there's people everywhere and cars. Surely he has looked at someone by now.
People who are driving around him and yelling at him, "Are you trying to get killed, you idiot?"
You should have been in love with that guy.
There's people on the sidewalk just gawking at him. I'm like, he's looked at somebody by now.
Yes.
He's in love with that man who just walked past him. But no, apparently not.
No, it takes a while.
So, Kara shows up, and I will admit, the transition when she flies into the little pipe and then walks out the other side as her alter ego, smooth. Smooth transition.
Like that works like a phone booth, right? You can imagine you change clothes real quick, blah, blah, blah.
That is one of those things that you would see in peak Superman, and I'd be like, that is fucking well
I'll
done.
give him that one. That one didn't bother me. There's another one, though, that's just fucking
The one later on is really bad.
Yeah.
She shows up and she's walking around, and then Lucy Lane is sitting in the diner with
Popeyes.
It's a Popeyes, very clearly.
Oh my God, it is a Popeyes. Yeah. She's sitting in there with her square of a boyfriend and his friends. One of them has a tattoo.
Ooh, edgy.
And she just randomly sees her roommate across the street.
Just walking.
And she's just like, "Oh my God!" That's oh God, what is her name?
Linda Lee.
Linda. That's Linda. And just like gets up and runs out of the restaurant. It's like, okay. And she's like, "Linda, it's me, Lucy. We're over here. This guy who has a tattoo is going to have a party tonight. We're all going to go to his house." Like, Jesus, girl, fucking take a breath.
Jimmy Olsen's there too. And I was like, hey, I recognize that guy.
Hey, look, it's Jimmy Olsen, that fucking square.
This also, they built this whole set. This whole town is a built set, and they built the Popeyes.
So they then see Ethan stumbling through town, and Jimmy Olsen proves that he's such a little fucking conservative square. He's like, "Oh, he must be on drugs. Well, we should leave him alone. You approach a guy like that, he's probably got a knife or a gun."
Really, Jimmy?
Fuck you, Jimmy Olsen.
Really, Jimmy can't be empathic and sympathetic.
Oh, I'm sorry. A guy who does drugs might not need help, you little fucking pussy.
This man,
fuck him.
This guy would never help anybody. Fucking Jimmy.
Oh, God. Jimmy Olsen, Superman's best friend, wants a drug user to die in the street.
You made
Fuck
your
you.
choice, you scum of the earth. You took drugs.
Let the state handle him. What?
Let's ship him to another state.
Yeah.
Make sure he gets the chair. So anyway, they're then just sitting in Popeyes deciding we're going to ignore this man who clearly is in need of assistance until a fucking excavator comes to life and just scoops him up and is driving around town by itself.
This is an amazing sequence.
It's like wrecking everything.
Yes.
At which point, Lucy Lee is like, we gotta help him, and runs out and jumps in the driver's seat of this thing.
Oh, hold on. First of all, Hart Bokener is doing his best job of falling for no reason, tripping over nothing as he is feebly trying to. I mean, he's drugged up, but the man literally trips in front of the thing several times for no reason.
Well, he's backing away from it and like almost runs into a car behind him, but looks, sees it there, and avoids it and keeps backing up, almost falling over.
Yeah.
Until finally it scoops him up and it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa! And it gets him, and now he's just unconscious. Because he finally got to lay down, and now he's asleep. So Lucy runs out and tries to stop this thing from running around the town, and like within seconds gets knocked unconscious.
Okay, what even happened there? Because it looked like she just bait and she knocked her head against the wall on purpose.
She's like sitting in it, and I think it's supposed to have like spun quickly to like try and get rid of her.
It is so bad.
But like the edit is so bad that she's just sitting there, and then you see the actress just headbutt the glass next to her and then lay down.
It looks like she goes, I'm going to knock myself out, and slam her head.
Oh, I'm trying to drive it. Wait, I don't know how to drive it. Well, no one's going to blame me if I'm unconscious.
It's like, what just happened? Why did she get knocked
just
out?
so improbable.
What happened there?
It's just unnatural.
Doesn't make any sense.
And bad.
So now she's knocked out in it, and all of a sudden Supergirl's like, oh, I have to be the one to stop this. So she runs off, turns back into Supergirl, steers the thing into a vacant lot by just like moving the excavator like bucket back and forth, which does not control the wheels of a fucking machine like that. Those are two different mechanics. But finally, like, just steers it into a vacant lot. It just comes to a stop.
Well, it hits this one little awning, and then it comes to a stop.
Yes. Yeah. And then so she rips the bucket off of the excavator and, like, flies it over and lays it down, at which point Faye Dunaway is watching this in her magic mirror and just goes, no! Don't let him see her! He'll fall in love with her! It's like, I fucking know!
By the way, first of all, she doesn't try to stop, like you said, she doesn't try to stop the thing. She just rips the thing off. Tires catch on fire for no reason all of a sudden. And there's gasoline and there's something with an electric wire. And I'm like, how did those fucking things catch on fire? What the fuck is happening?
By the way, your only friend in the world right now is passed out unconscious in the driver's seat.
This whole time, she don't give a fuck about Lucy. She just left her in the fucking cab.
She'll be fine.
I was like, what about the girl?
She drops the fucking bucket for this thing and then instantly decides to switch back to being Linda Lee, which means, where the fuck did you come from? Where did the blonde girl go? What is happening in this movie?
Yeah.
And then Ethan wakes up and sees her and goes, I love you.
Of course he does.
And she's like, what? And then he kisses her, and then you have to suddenly realize he's a grown man in probably his 30s. And as far as I can tell from her being a Kryptonian, she's like 12.
Yeah, they're like teenagers, right? What is happening?
She has the brain of a fucking child. And so it's this kind of thing where you're like, oh, this is really upsetting that this happened. And so then she's like, I have to go, and like runs away. And then never once checks on Lucy to see if she's okay. She just comes back into consciousness, gets out of the driver's seat, and then Jimmy Olsen runs up and is like, Lucy, are you all right? She's like, yeah, I mean, I hit my head, I think. You think? Bitch, there's time missing in your life.
Wait, let's not forget to mention Ethan kind of just assaults her and forces a kiss. And then
it's the 80s. That doesn't matter.
But Lucy wakes up seeing them kissing in the distance. But like, what? She doesn't even know what a kiss is. And she's a lot younger. Yeah. So, anyways.
Yeah, I have. Didn't he just walk by someone? So shouldn't he be like in love with that guy? So our Lucy and Jimmy fucking is one of my notes.
They are.
There's also the point where when they initially see him walking around in the street, Lucy makes a comment of like, "Look at that dingleberry," and Supergirl goes, "What's a dingleberry?"
I would have loved to have heard that.
And I was like, "Oh, please explain it to her."
I would love to have heard.
You know when you wipe your ass.
You know when? You guys have toilet paper on your planet. You know when? So, Delhauer, we're about halfway through the movie here, believe it or not.
Surprisingly
I think
enough.
we're going to take a quick break here.
Yeah, I kind of need to
I
rehydrate.
thought so. We're going to play some promos. Listener, hang tight. We'll be right back with the second half of Supergirl, and we're going to find out what the fuck happened right after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
What's up, guys? Gerald from Two Peas on a Podcast here. Are you just sitting there thinking to yourself, man, I really love some dude in his garage sitting around talking about arbitrary countdowns and his favorite things in the world of movies, music, and TV? Well, guess what? That's me. Please look me up. My name is Gerald, and I am from Two Peas on a Podcast. If you want to subscribe to my countdown show, I have a different co-host every week. It's often someone from the world of podcasting or entertainment, and we go through our top 5 favorite things in whatever that week's category is. You can find links to all of our content, subscribe via your favorite podcast app, and follow us on social media. The easiest thing to do is just head to our website, which is www.twopeasonapod.com. I hope you look me up and join the party. It's a lot of fun. See you soon.
What's up, Jock and Nerd Nation? This is Logan at Mostly Superheroes, a podcast that was partly inspired by the Jock and Nerd podcast. We talk about a lot of the same stuff, MCU, DC heavy, with other content that comes out of HBO Max, Amazon Prime, Netflix, and more. We're committing to doing something new every day in 2021, so come join the fun, check out the schedule. Find us at mostlysuperheroes.com and enjoy the rest of the show.
Listener, if you enjoy the What the Fuck Happened series and this podcast, this is a great time. You should join our fan club. Visit jockandnerd.com/Patreon. Jock and Nerd, where you can give back, support the show, and get stuff like there is a exclusive podcast feed just for our Patreon members where the shows come out early. Bonus content is in there. You can join us for our monthly Discord hangouts. Lots of fun. And you can pick a tier where you can make us watch any movie you want and review it just for you. And it's also another place you can suggest future What the Fuck Happened movies. We'll take suggestions from anybody, right? Facebook, email, whatever. The Patreon member suggestions maybe weighted a little bit higher. Maybe a little higher importance because we love our Patreon subscribers.
We have had episodes of What the Fuck Happened that were Patreon
Absolutely.
Suggested previously, including things like Howard the
That's
Duck.
my favorite one still.
And Masters of the Universe.
Yes.
That's right.
And who knows, maybe in the future there will be some exclusive things from Matt Delhauer on the Patreon.
Yes.
I can't say because I just made that up now.
I'm going to hold you to it, you fucker.
Maybe it'll happen. I have to have a thing to do first.
We'll get there.
But also, don't be like me, and don't be so far behind that you can't even go near the Patreon because you haven't even seen Guardians of the Galaxy 3 yet.
Oh, you can listen around things. Look, I got chapter markers and things are, you could jump around, listen around it. That's all. I made it very easy.
Imran, this is my excuse for not listening to you. Stop making me just be a bad friend.
I see. I understand. No, it's okay. It's not going anywhere. You don't got to make it. I get it. It's all good.
The worst part was I thought this week, I'm like, man, I should go and see that. Can I do it Monday? No. Can I do it Tuesday? No. What about Wednesday? No. How about Thursday? No. Fuck! This shit's going to leave theaters before I see it.
Especially because I'm making you watch this shitty movie and tell it to us right now.
You're wasting 4 hours of your life that you could have spent.
No,
Look, I could have been at Guardians.
Yeah, it's okay.
I could have been crying alongside Peter Quill.
I know. I need to know what happens in the second half of this movie. We're
going to find
back to
out.
it.
All right.
Finish it.
Finish.
So it turns out that Selena saw the whole thing with him kissing Linda Lee, and she's like, that twerp, that little nothing bitch. You're like, holy shit, lady, it's just a girl. What the fuck is wrong with you? At which point her friend's even like, maybe you should be more worried about, like, the superhero who showed up. She's like, shut the fuck up, you idiot.
Brenda Vaccaro's line, she's utterly useless, and it's straight from a bad 80s sitcom sidekick fucking lines.
Fucking hate her character.
She's the worst.
So
I kept
much.
thinking that she was Janet from Three's Company.
Three's Company, right? Yeah, I get that.
She's Janet from Three's Company. She's fucking Ethel from I Love Lucy.
She's all of those people, but not funny. None of the lines are funny.
She is just the best friend, comic relief sidekick, but not a single thing she says is ever funny.
No, it's horrible.
It's all stupidly obvious. And just, I think I'll leave now. Fuck you. You deserve to die in a vortex like everybody else in this movie.
She has lines like, oh, well, that didn't work well. Like, and that's the line.
Oh, she's improving by leaps and bounds. Fuck off. Why are you here? Anyway, she wants to kill Linda Lee now because Ethan loves her, and for some reason, Selena has decided Ethan needs to be in love with Selena. So
Why?
what does she do? She recognizes the power of shadows.
Oh, the power of shadows, is it?
And she sends a shadow monster to go deal with Linda Lee. And this is the most Sam Raimi shit they have in this movie, where, like, Linda's going back to the dorms and signing back in and thinking about how she kissed Ethan, and she's going to kiss herself in the mirror because she's a fucking 11-year-old girl. Meanwhile, we keep cutting back to this powerful storm of just natural destruction, ripping up trees and turning over houses. And then it just cuts back to Linda's in her dorm room, thinking about boys, and then here comes this thunderstorm of fucking hate.
Exactly what it is.
And I'm just like, again, what is happening in this movie?
There's nothing.
The great thing is, like, essentially, the Shadow Beast is just nothing.
No,
It's
there's nothing there ever.
The moment she looks outside and realizes something is wrong and then flies, this is the transition that we were talking about.
Yes.
When she then jumps out of her window, and between the window pane inside and outside of the building, she transitions from Linda Lee to Supergirl.
What? I was like, what? What just happened? Yes, and she crosses the threshold, and you see, what the fuck is this? What is this?
This isn't even like a fucking revolving door moment of, like, at least he's spinning around fast enough so you don't see him changing.
That's perfectly plausible.
She just instantaneously is now
makes
Supergirl.
No sense. That revolving door, absolutely 100% plausible. This, what the fuck?
Well, she did it with a tree, so now
She
you
did
can
it
do it
with,
with
but like this,
a pane of glass.
What? What is that?
Look, so here's the thing. When you want to go talking shit about the Star Wars sequel movies and how, like, Rey's a fucking Mary Sue because she has all these powers she never earned.
Yeah.
I want you to watch this fucking movie because I don't know where anything she can do came from and how she ever knew that she could do it until it happens.
Nobody likes this movie. Nobody's defending this movie. Everybody knows
they're
it's
not.
shit.
But I'm not saying you have to defend the movie. I'm saying get some perspective, you fucking neckbeards. God damn it. Anyway, she's outside fighting the fucking wind, I guess.
There's nothing. Just
Well,
nothing.
I was waiting for Atreyu to show up. Go,
Yes.
you're fighting the nothing.
It is the nothing. Atreyu.
You're fighting the nothing!
Oh, God.
What is the nothing?
It's nothing.
At which point she realizes, oh, I know how to defeat this.
This is so weird.
To which point she rips a lamppost out of the ground and flies up into the sky and collects lightning
In a lamppost.
into the lamppost.
In a lamppost.
And I fucking shit you
What
not.
is happening?
I wrote in my notes, she kills an invisible dragon with a pole full of lightning.
Yeah.
Explain that shit, assholes.
What's happening?
If only Sebastian knew to do that.
I know. Say the name, Sebastian. Say the name.
You could have saved your horse from the goddamn
You
fucking
could've
bog of woe, you little
Pull
shit.
harder, Atreyu. So she zaps this thing, and you see it for like translucent for like 2 seconds.
Split second.
Yes, I'm like, what? What was
That's
that?
why I called it an invisible
There's nothing
dragon,
there.
because it's the wind until she shoots it with lightning and then goes, oh, look at that. I think it's a monster, maybe. Oh, it's
It
gone.
looks like a fucking thing from like a one of those monster movies on afternoon TV.
They're like Ilya Salkind's like,
Yes.
this looks like shit. They're
This-
like, we only show it, the French guy's like, we'd only show it for 1 second.
Yes, brilliant.
This is exactly what you would get if you got fucking Harryhausen shit-faced on mezcal
yes.
and said, build me a monster in 30 seconds, you fuck.
What is this thing?
They just gave Imran Play-Doh.
Yeah, I made it in my bedroom.
I think it's a dragon, but it's mostly a squirrel with butterfly wings and
I don't know
tentacles.
what the fuck. And then Delhauer, what happens? More inexplicable shit.
Oh, the most inexplicable shit. Because she then suddenly has she goes back inside
Yes.
to go to bed. She's full Kara, blonde
In the
hair, Supergirl outfit.
Why?
And her old lady RA
So
goes,
funny.
what are you doing out of bed? You wearing this costume showing your legs? You go upstairs, you
She's
put
so-
on your school uniform.
drunk.
She goes, yes, ma'am. She goes, don't you yes, ma'am, me.
What?
And just disappears into another room.
Why?
Why did I need this scene?
Why? First of all, why?
You're wasting my fucking life.
Convenient that the lady's drunk. Why does she forget this one time to fucking change back? Why is this scene even necessary? What is the point of any of this? Ugh.
And what I love so much is we go back to Faye Dunaway, and her little fucking toady friend is like, I don't know, maybe you should just, like, not bother with this anymore. And her response is, the girl can fly. Oh, shit. Can she? Is that your fucking reason to obsess over this? Not the fact that she defeated your fucking shadow beast with a lightning bolt.
Yeah, let's forget about that fact.
Oh, God. So she then has her stupid little glow bracelet go off again because Selena opens her fucking lead dragon box that keeps growing
keeps
in
changing for
size.
somehow.
I thought it just glowed because she reached her daily steps for the day.
But it's like for some reason there's a story point that's like, oh yeah, the lead dragon
It's
box
growing.
with the fucking MacGuffin and it keeps getting
Yeah,
bigger.
it makes no sense.
And they're like, that's a thing.
And it grows
but, like,
boobs, by the way.
It grows
It
titties.
does. By the end of it.
And so she opens it, and the fucking little like orb inside is knocking around and causing fucking chaos. And then her Fitbit starts glowing again,
It's a Fitbit.
and she's like, "Oh no, that means the thing is nearby." I
The
guess
Omegahedron. The Ronda Rousey Ron.
the Hooba Gooba Hooba Stankatron.
The Stankatron is near. It's this way.
It's nearby,
And the
and so
Chumbawamba
she just leaves the building and just walks in a direction and winds up at the fucking like amusement park. Is this just right past the fucking building? How far away is this?
It must have been-
Where is this goddamn amusement
It's right
park?
next to the school, apparently.
As far as I know, it's right next to the school, but also right next to that is the city of Chicago.
Yes, that's
Well,
correct.
no, I think that when trying to make sense of this movie, I'm sorry, okay, but
Please try.
when Lucy Lane says we're going to go to Popeyes, and she says it's about like a couple miles from here,
Oh.
so it's that town where the whole tractor thing happened. That's there. The amusement park is not far from there.
By a couple of miles, did she mean literally two?
Where's the school then?
I don't know.
The school is in the town.
It's out
So, like,
just outside the town.
She decided to leave campus for the weekend and travel 2 miles away
Yes.
to a town where she was going to meet her fucking
I don't know if it's
square-ass
literally 2
boyfriend.
miles, but it's like it was a short ride away. It was like a drive
I mean,
away.
so here's to skip ahead for a real quick second. When shit finally goes Selena's way and she uses her magic to create her fortress on a mountain, it's in the middle of that town.
Right.
Yeah.
That means that town
right there.
and the fucking amusement
right
park
there.
are within walking distance of the school.
It's all very convenient.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah. It's pretty bad. I mean,
we're still not even 3/4 of the way through this movie. Linda shows up at the amusement park. Her bracelet keeps going off, and then she finds out she's being followed and turns around, and it's Ethan
stalking her.
who's carrying a fucking bouquet of roses and a heart-shaped box of chocolate,
Aw.
and he's talking like he is made of fucking Shakespearean
Yes,
sonnets.
yeah, why?
he's like reciting poems.
Why does he talk like this now?
Literally, the line he gives is, "'Tis only but me, my love."
Why are you talking like Shakespeare?
You're a fucking gardener who barely could string 2 sentences
What?
together, you fucking rube.
Yeah,
And she falls for this shit. She, like, falls head over heels for him being just this weird fucking theater kid piece of shit.
Stalker.
And, like, he's like, like, he gives her the candy and the fucking roses and tries to pick her up, but he can't because she weighs a ton because she's an alien. And she's like, what are you doing? And he's like, follow me. And they sit down in, like, the Sizzler, which is, like, a fucking
That
ride
yeah.
at the amusement
That's the
park.
ride where you sit and the thing spins and it goes up and down and
And it, like,
around
spins
and
and goes in
you.
circles.
Yeah. It's
And
fun.
he's like, if you told me to die, I would die for you. And she's like, really? And, like, he pretends to die. And she's like, oh, Ethan, are you
she's an
okay? It's like,
idiot.
oh, you fucking little
He's an
idiot.
idiot.
What are you doing? But, like, she's into it. And now they're fucking, like, kissing each other because she's a child and he's a brainwashed moron. This is not romantic, you fucking weird Hollywood shits.
So strange. And then he asked her to marry him. I was like, what?
He's like, marry me. Why? But anyway, Selena finds out they're both there, and she uses magic to make them ride a carnival ride. At which point, she slows it down, and Ethan's still there, who I'm guessing is dead from whiplash. Because she decided to make it as fast as possible to kill them, so he would be dead. But
You'd be dead after this. It goes so.
yes.
It's going so fast. He would have been flung.
But Supergirl shows up and she's basically like, "Who are you and what do you want?" A question she asks 90 minutes into the movie. Oh God! I also have written here, Supergirl meets the villain 90 minutes in. I fucking hate Bianca. Useless comedic
Absolutely,
bullshit.
she's the worst.
Because this is the point where she's like, she's increasing through leaps and bounds.
God.
Why are you here? So much filler, still 40 minutes to go, is my next note. So they take Ethan, they pull him out of the Sizzler, they put him in the middle of the bumper cars, and he's going to get hit by the bumper cars that are all designed to look like Chicago Bears
Oh,
players.
they're all like different football teams.
But he winds up in the one that's designed to look like Chicago Bears
that's right.
players.
Yeah.
So Kara just decides, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pick up the whole thing and fly it out
Wait,
of
why-
here through the ceiling of the ride.
Why can't
and
this-
the moment if you watch, he's sitting there looking at her going, what are you doing? And then they crash through the ceiling and he's unconscious because she fucking killed him.
Why did he just run off the bumper cart?
Yeah,
Why-
like you could just walk
that
away.
way and they can't get you. They're just
Because there's 40 minutes left of the movie.
Wait, but also you got to describe how Selena tries to block Supergirl from helping Ethan.
I don't remember.
Remember, she makes multiple versions of herself.
Oh, yes. She full on goes fucking multiple
Yes.
man. and just makes mirror images of
It's the
herself
worst.
to block her in. And that's the moment when Bianca's like, she's doing a lot better. It's like, what are you talking about? You don't just suddenly become good at magic, you stupid
She's
bitch.
good at magic now. When did this happen?
Wow.
Oh my God. Oh, and then Supergirl
So-
throws the rods to make her that prison.
She throws the rods.
Which
I guess,
another thing
or
that she should easily be able to get out of.
Yeah,
because
just walk
the
between the
are like,
rods.
just go turn yourself sideways and walk.
Why
forward.
did he just walk off the bumper cart? That's what
But so she puts him in a bumper car and pulls him out of there and flies him off to the same fucking park that she emerged from next to the lake.
And for all she knows, he's dead because he's knocked out cold.
And so he wakes up and he's like, oh my God, I have to go and help Linda. And then I shit you not, listener, a fucking coconut falls from the sky and knocks him unconscious.
shit. What?
The fuck?
Yeah, that's exactly what it said.
So that's one of Selena's
the exact
powers.
sound.
This is Selena's powers. She can make coconuts land wherever she wants.
The first thing I wrote was, did he get hit in the head with a football? And then it cuts back to Selena and Bianca, and she's like, I can make it rain coconuts. And I went, he got hit in the head with a fucking
It's
coconut.
like a Benny Hill sketch.
A big one, too.
Yeah. It's like a fucking Stooges sketch. Like, what is happening?
At which point, Kara brings him back to consciousness by cracking the coconut open and feeding him the milk inside by dipping her fingers in it and rubbing it on his
Dude,
mouth.
this is like the hottest scene in the whole movie. I'm gonna be honest.
So uncomfortable
Yeah.
to watch.
She's just-
I don't remember that.
Yeah, she dips it. First, she puts it in her mouth, and then she dips her fingers and puts it in his mouth. I'm like, honey.
Oh,
ew.
wow.
So he comes to, and he's like, I gotta go back and save Linda. And she's like, Linda's fine, you idiot. She's just fine. Don't bother.
Trust me.
And so then she jumps over him and flies in front of him. He's like, did you just fly over my head? And she's like, yeah, I did. And Linda's fine. He goes, look, I don't want to get physical with you. Bitch, she just flew over your head.
He's gonna beat her up.
You are fucking outmatched, you little moron. And then she's like, Linda's fine, and kisses him. And he's like, oh, you're Linda?
Oh my God! I was hoping they weren't
And
gonna do that.
I headbutted a wall.
I was like, I really don't hope they don't do the kiss thing, and then he knows who it is, and they fucking do it. Oh my God!
Of course they did it.
Wow.
They literally
All right.
do whatever they need to do to move the story along in whatever direction they need to make it go. It's
All right, I have to go into fucking like fast forward mode because there's so much left
All
of
right.
this movie and I don't want to talk about
Get
it
through
anymore.
it.
Okay, Selena uses the magic that she gains from Nigel and the fucking ball to create her fortress on a mountain in the middle of this town. The thing that pisses me off about it most is that Lucy and fucking
Jimmy Olsen.
Jimmy Olsen are in the town, and she goes, Jimmy, what is that? And the camera pans over to show a mountain with a castle on it. And the whole time they explain, I think it's a mountain. Well, where did the mountain come from? I don't know. Look up top. I think that's a castle. Looks more like a fortress. I can fucking see, you assholes! Stop explaining it to me!
Also, you don't see it come out of the ground. It's just
Just a matte painting.
Yeah, it's a matte-
It's just
a
there.
little animated water on the side. It's just really bad.
So while she's talking to fucking Ethan, and he's like, I need to help him, Selena also uses her magic. Ethan disappears. He appears in the fucking fortress. Supergirl shows up and tries to save Ethan. It turns out he's chained up, and I'm going to tell you right now, they missed out on a great opportunity by not having him in a fucking Speedo in chains. Because if the whole concept is that all Selena wants is for him to be her little fuck toy, why is he in jeans and a t-shirt? We saw teenagers in their underwear throughout most of this movie. The most you could do is have this evil character sexualize one fucking man.
He was
But
he was
no.
topless earlier, but you're right. That would have been something.
So anyway, Supergirl shows up, tries to save him, can't save him. She's trapped in glass, and now she's in the Phantom
What the
Zone.
fuck?
How does Selena know what the Phantom Zone is? Doesn't fucking matter.
Did she know exactly? I was like, what? Phantom
Well, she
Zone?
doesn't know. She asked the dude. The dude tells me she's in the Phantom Zone.
Right?
Who fucking cares? Nigel's
Nigel.
apparently a goddamn clairvoyant. She's in the Phantom Zone. I went to take a shit, and by the time I came back without pausing the movie, she was still in the Phantom Zone, and she found Peter O'Toole again.
back.
And he just kept saying, "Want a squirt?" And
What
I
was
thought,
it?
well, this is inappropriate.
Yes. Okay, wait, hold on. So many things. First of all, when she goes in the Phantom Zone, it's like in Superman 2, was it? With the three of them? But in that one, when it like flipped around, they at least had the decency to show you the back of them and then the front of them as this thing rotates. They don't have the money for that here. This thing fucking rotates. You just see the front of her every time. On both sides is the front of her. And then want a squirt? I was waiting for Peter O'Toole just to be like, that's my urine. I've recycled it. It's been keeping me alive. And he never said that. And what the fuck was in that bottle?
I also wrote down, haha, what a faceplant when she tries to fly and just eats
she
shit.
jumps and then she can't use her powers in the negative zone. Just lands in
So
the mud.
anyway, Peter O'Toole says, we're trapped here forever. We'll never get out of here. You're fucking stuck. How about you just deal with it? And she goes, no, I'd rather die than be here. And he goes, okay, well, there's one way to get out. We have to go to the fucking heart of the like tornado or whatever it is. And she goes, okay, let's do it. And they do. Why did we even bother pretending there's no way out if there's a way out and all you have to do is say, I refuse to accept that there's no way out?
Gotta go that way.
They get there, and then Selena, just through her mirror of power, sees that this is happening and goes, I'm going to send fireballs after them. And the fireballs do fucking nothing. They climb a wall, Peter O'Toole pushes her up a cliff, and then he falls into the goddamn tornado, and now he's dead.
My.
She gets out, flies through the mirror. By the way, for some reason, Selena now has her friends in cages in the fucking cavern because, stakes, I guess. She shows up, says, your time is over. And she goes, how about you deal with my shadow demon? And she goes, no, how about you deal with your shadow demon? The shadow demon turns on her, kills Selena, kills Bianca, disappears into the shadow zone, and fucking everybody's safe. The end of the goddamn movie.
Shit, you made it. Yay. Okay, hold on. We're just gonna, that was.
But did we ever get back the Omega
The dodecahedron?
Hedron?
Somebody gets the dodecahedron.
They get the super mega hexa, whatever it is, and then she's like, look, I have to leave forever. And Ethan's like, I'll tell them what happened to Linda. What are you going to tell him, that she's dead? I don't know. Doesn't matter. She flies away, winds up back in, quote, inner space, despite the fact that the movie before said she could never
She goes
come
back in the water into the thing.
And she's just like, I'm in the water, I'm in inner space, and then the city of Argo, which was no longer lit up, lights up again, and apparently that means she saved them. But we don't get to see that because fuck you, movie over, everybody go home.
The one part that got me in the end is where she's fighting the shadow demon and he grabs her and he's apparently pulling her. And what do? It's a really bad Matt of Helen Slater as Supergirl, and then they just like stretch the footage and pull it, and I'm like, are you fucking serious? This is what you're doing?
Well, I also love how while they're doing that, they then put in Peter O'Toole with this terrible fucking distortion over his voice in voiceover going, I'm with you, girl.
Yeah, that's right.
What does that mean?
There's also a moment that looks like Peter O'Toole just wanted to like grind on Helen Slater a little bit when he like crawls over her.
When he's grabbing her by the ass and shoving her up the wall and just yelling, go, girl,
He
go!
literally is like grinding up on her.
Oh, yeah, he was pawing her really good.
That's an old man with two fists full of ass just going, hey, just keep the cameras rolling. I'm in character, I swear. Honk,
Peter
honk.
O'Toole's like best day ever on the set for me. I don't know, how was it for you?
He's like, I was hugging camels a few years ago.
Hashtag Me Too is 35 years away. I'm never going to
I
get
won an
caught for
Oscar.
this.
I can do this. It was in Lawrence of Arabia. Okay, before we get to what the fuck happened, I have Ruggs, I want to hear some comments from you about this. I just have to say, I started this movie. This movie made no sense from the very first frame, and I kept waiting for the movie to make sense, and it never fucking makes sense. It's the most amazing thing. it just got crazier and more nonsense. And the whole time, like we were doing, I was like, what the fuck is happening in this movie? Rugs, any thoughts after this journey?
I've tried to watch this movie maybe 6 times.
Yes.
Like since my childhood, like it would be on channel 11 and I'd be like, I'm going to watch it. And every single time I was like, fuck this movie. I can't watch it. It's fucking too bad. I checked out so many times and, I was like, oh, okay, this time I have to watch the whole thing all the way through.
There's so many ridiculous things.
The only thing that made me tune in is Helen Slater being hot. And that's it.
You know what?
Pretty much it.
Helen Slater actually makes a decent Supergirl if she had better shit to do. I can see that kind of same thing that like Chris Reeve brought a little bit in there, but the material is not helping her out.
Yeah, she looks the part.
Yeah.
She looks great in the suit.
Yeah.
And that's about it. And the movie is probably, I would say, worse than B movies. Like worse. This is probably because this is who's made this? Is this WB?
It's Warner Brothers and the Salkins though, and Matt Delhauer will tell us they didn't really get along well.
Yeah, like this is like the second Warner Brothers movie that we've watched. Where like that we can't believe that Warner Brothers was involved in.
Stinkers. Also, let's talk about the runtime. Delhauer, and then just get into what the fuck happened here, because this movie is 124 minutes. This is like the extended international cut of the movie. They cut it down to 103 minutes when it was released, and then on Max is the long ass version with tons of scenes. You know,
I'm going to tell you right now, 103 minutes is still too long of a fucking movie. There is so much of this movie you can cut out of this. And like 90% of that is just fucking flying footage. We saw it. We saw it in the first 3 Superman movies. I don't need to watch this bitch fly across the world.
Several times. All right, where did this go wrong, Delhauer?
Oh my God. Okay. So here's one of the first things I'm going to say before we even get into what went wrong. I told Imran, it has been, I think, 7 or 8 years. But this is the movie that has dethroned the 2015 Fantastic Four.
Shit. Wow.
As the most torturous film I have ever watched for this fucking series.
Did it. Yes. Took down Fantastic Four.
Wow.
I couldn't be happier. Yes.
I have in my notes for this movie the phrase, what the fuck is happening?
That's why it's perfect.
Is written 9 times.
I mean, the What the Fuck Happened series was made for this movie.
It is. But not even for this reason. Because it's not even a question of what the fuck happened to the movie. The question of what the fuck is happening is, I cannot tell you why the story is doing what it's doing.
Yep.
If I want to go into why is this movie what it is, it's a very simple story. The most simple way to put it is because Superman 3 bombed at the box office. And so, back in the 70s, when the Salkind family bought the rights to Superman on film, they also bought the rights to Supergirl and I think Superboy?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, you probably get the whole package
Crypto
deal.
and everything.
I'm pretty sure they bought like the super family in the whole like concept of film. And so in Superman 3, they originally had planned on introducing Supergirl in this like B or C plot that was going to go on.
Another plot in that movie? Jesus.
Yeah. And that's the problem is they realized, that'd be too much going on. So they didn't bother. And then Superman 3 did really badly. And Chris Reeves was like, I don't think I want to come back for these movies. And so Alexander Salkind said, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a Supergirl movie. And we're going to try and like refresh the franchise by bringing in a new character and a new story and doing all this new stuff. And the original story that they had, and they even pitched to directors and actors, was Superman has been captured by a villain and Supergirl has to save him.
I think it was Brainiac.
I believe you're correct. I believe it was the computer from 3.
Yes, that was going to be Brainiac.
Was going to then evolve into
Yeah.
Brainiac and kidnap Superman. And Supergirl was going to have to save him. And a bunch of people were like, yeah, I love that idea. I really want to do this. I'd love to be a part of this, including people like Peter O'Toole and Faye Dunaway and, fucking Oscar-winning actors. And then Chris Reeve said, I don't want to be Superman anymore. I'm done. And walked away. And the Salkinds went, oh, shit. What do we do?
They wanted a cameo on Superman explaining things to her, which would have made a lot of sense if you think about the movie.
Yeah. And so they went, okay, Superman is not on Earth anymore, and they had to very quickly rewrite about 75% of the movie they wrote.
And that's the best they could do.
I read that the majority of that $35 million budget was spent on these rewrites.
Like the only way that I could even justify how badly written this movie is if they were writing it as they were filming it, and they were just making shit up as they were going along, and there was nobody giving a fuck about this movie at all. They're just like, just do it. Then I could see it. But if this is something that they calculatedly wrote down and made,
I think what it was they got to the point where they were just about to start principal photography when Chris said no, and didn't he never signed on to the movie. They just assumed that they could get him in because they were going after Richard Lester to direct this film, and it was Richard Lester went, not after 3. I don't want to do this.
And they couldn't get John Williams, and you have this fucking generic music.
And so it was at a point where Chris Reeve was maybe still a part of the film. He hadn't officially said no, and he had worked with
Geno
Swarek on another movie, and had even been like, "Hey, I think he's a great director. I really like the way he approaches things." So he went, "Oh yeah, I would love to direct Supergirl with Chris and everybody else in it." And then Chris went, "Oh no, I'm not coming back."
Yeah, clearly it would have been a much different movie.
So I think you are pretty spot on in the fact that they were basically at the point of filming when they went, "Oh, about 75% of our script just walked out the door."
And then fast forward a little bit, the bombing of this movie forces the Salkins to sell to Canon, and you get Quest for Peace, and somehow Chris Reeve agreed to fucking come back.
Before we even get there, they go making the movie, they are filming it, and the thing is that WB says, okay, we will help fund the movie, but it's going to be released in the summer of '84.
Right.
Literally a year after Superman 3.
Oh, yeah.
And the Salkins, knowing that Chris backed out, we have a third-rate director that we never wanted running it. We can't get John Williams, and this movie is not going to be anything better than Superman 3. But what if we did holiday season of '84? And WB went, no, it goes summer of '84 or we don't fucking release it.
Wow.
And so the Salkins were like, okay, why don't you just sell us the distribution rights then?
Oh, that's what.
And WB went, well, after your last Superman movie, sure, you can have it. And the Salkins turned around and they somehow convinced TriStar Pictures.
Yeah, that's right.
To buy the distribution rights for Supergirl.
TriStar actually released it, yeah.
And TriStar went, holiday of '84? Sure thing, let's put it out in November.
We got nothing.
Can you name another movie that released in November of 1984?
Well, we did in the beginning. You named a bunch of them.
No, you didn't.
No?
Every movie I named from the holiday season of 1984 did not release in November. They released in October or December.
That's a dead time. That's not a good time.
November of 1984 had one other quote-unquote notable release.
Okay.
And that was The Ewoks Caravan of Courage.
Wait, is a movie in theaters?
It funny enough, released internationally in theaters.
Whoa.
Now, I don't think that means America,
Yeah.
but it did release in theaters somewhere.
So a dead time.
Which means, outside of that, there is not another fucking movie that released in November that ever went on to do anything in that year. So TriStar agreed, sure, we'll release it in a time where no one's going to see it and no one's going to care. And that's how you wind up with $14 million at the box office
Oh my God.
in 1984.
Wow, that's terrible.
That's really bad.
Some notable names that had tried out for the role of
Yeah.
Supergirl
Yeah, this is great.
include Brooke Shields
Yep.
and Demi Moore.
Yep.
And the Salkins both went, nah, we don't want people who are known in this role. We want a nobody like Chris Reeve was when we did Superman.
I agree.
And by the time
Yeah.
I get that idea, because when they did Superman, Chris Reeve was unknown. And by the time that movie came out and blew up in the box office, Chris Reeve was a fucking superstar. The problem is you literally said out loud, we want to catch lightning in a bottle twice.
Yeah, that doesn't happen.
And that will never happen.
Yeah.
So when this movie bombed so hard at the box office, the Salkins could only see one way out, and that was selling the rights to the Superman franchise to Canon Films at a very,
Discounted rate.
very discounted price.
What do you think? $75? I wonder how much they pay for it.
I'm going to say $50 and a pack of menthol.
The 6-pack of beer. We'll take it.
It's a five rack. They kept one because fuck you.
Well, and you can hear how that movie turned out, listener. Episode
And
347.
the only thing
Quest for
that
Peace.
brought back Chris Reeve for Superman 4, Quest for Peace,
Yeah.
was he said, you have to give me creative control over the movie.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And Cannon said, abso-fucking-lutely.
Sure. Go ahead.
Well, that movie's way better than this movie.
It is.
That movie is Shakespeare
It's a
compared to
masterpiece.
this fucking piece of
It is
shit.
it is a fucking masterpiece compared to this.
I had a ball watching Quest for Peace.
Yeah.
This movie made me wish I was dead 3 times
Jesus.
in 2 hours.
Fuck.
I will hurt people.
That guy's great.
I was going to say, atomic fingernails
That guy's great.
is enough to make me say, I'll watch your movie, versus this weird, backwards, schoolgirl bullshit.
I will hurt people.
I mean, that fight on the moon alone.
I was going to say, the
better
slow-mo
than everything in this
fight
movie.
on the moon
Yeah.
set
Yeah.
is enough to make me go, I'll watch your movie.
Yeah.
Instead of watching Faye Dunaway backlit with a fucking fan
Yeah,
in
what
her
was-
face,
what was that
just
lighting?
yelling,
Yeah, why did she have, like,
I am God.
Why did she have like this weird spotlight on her face all
Yeah,
the time?
it was like the old-timey lighting on her face with the barn doors all the time.
Because you know for a fact Faye Dunaway got to tell everybody on set how to light her.
Yes. Oh, and it's only her. Even when fucking Brenda Vaccaro is standing next to her, they don't do it for her.
100%. She is lit like a fucking 1940s
Yeah.
star.
Yeah. Yeah.
While everybody else in the scene
What the
with her,
fuck?
in the exact same
Yes,
shot,
yes.
are flat lit.
Yes. Why? It doesn't make any sense. Nothing makes
Because
sense.
Faye Dunaway got to tell everybody else, no, this is how you light me. And they went, yeah, sure, whatever.
Do you know who they also wanted for Selena? She was not their first choice.
Oh, shit.
Jennifer Lopez.
No, this is 1984.
Oh, the other Selena. Okay.
Yeah, the other Selena. Apparently, the role originally offered to Jane Fonda,
Okay.
Goldie Hawn.
Okay.
They turned it down.
Oh, I know the last one.
Yes.
they wanted Dolly Parton.
Yes. They offered her $7 million to play Selena. And she's like, I don't play witches. I don't care how much you pay me.
Well, it was A, she said, I don't play witches, and B, I don't play villains.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. She's got a brand. She's got a brand to uphold.
That's right.
Good move, Dolly. I got to give props to Dolly for buying out of this.
unless the hero is Jolene.
Yes, then it's got to be Dolly. Jolene. They also originally did cast Demi Moore as Lucy Lane, but then she scheduling things and she left. Then they got Maureen Teefy is the girl who plays Lucy Lane. All right.
To everybody's benefit, including Maureen Teefy.
You know who they wanted to play Ethan?
Tell me.
John Travolta.
Ew.
Yes.
I mean, at the same time, though, yeah, fine. It's not like Ethan was a part worth clamoring over.
It would have been interchangeable.
He literally gets dressed up like Austin Powers and is seen coloring in a coloring book because Selena wanted to fuck a child.
Have you seen the poster for this thing, Ruggs? Have you seen the poster with her badly placed face flat on her flying? I put it in here. It's horrible.
The one that they have on HBO Max?
Yeah, it's like with the Statue of Liberty, and there's a shot of her flying.
Oh, yeah, it's very badly photoshopped.
The angles don't match at all, and cardboard cutout of Helen Slater coming out of the water. Just what the fuck?
Yeah, it's like one of those things that's really, really peculiar when they make a movie and they cast like what you think is a very great casting, like for Supergirl. And it's just a terrible movie. It is bad in every single kind of way. There's no redeeming qualities about this movie at all. Like all of the action stuff is terrible. Like even like the way that she's on the wires to fly, like she's awkward in the way that they do it.
Yes.
There's no real action. That scene with the freaking that whatever that thing is, that claw. What is
the shadow monster?
No. The construction thing.
Yeah,
that went on way too long.
Yeah,
it was like improbable and bad. Like when stuff's happening, like I understand, like this came out in the 80s, and there was a certain kind of stupidity to people during that time that would just take anything. Like suspension of disbelief was so high during that time because cinema was new and these adventure stories were new and you only heard dumb stories. So, like, you weren't surprised to hear a dumb story, but this was even too dumb for that. Like, this was even dumber than the regular.
Yes, they weren't even trying. It goes way past
like, people
that
hated
level.
it then, right? So
yes.
Yeah.
So it's abysmal.
Like, it's one of those things where it's a concept in which, like, it's not even one of those things where they were like, oh, this movie was ahead of its time, and like 20 to 30 years later, suddenly it's found an audience. No,
never did.
Everyone still fucking hates this movie.
I mean, I'm surprised they have it on HBO Max, right? Like, I'd be fucking embarrassed. Like, you're taking out, they're pulling all this
this shit.
Yeah.
They deleted off of there.
They leave this fucking thing on. Oh, I got some more casting. Dudley Moore is offered $4 million to play Zoltar. And he turned it down. So Peter O'Toole got paid.
Dudley Moore.
Yeah. Peter O'Toole got paid $4 million in this movie. Dudley Moore.
I can only imagine. There's two possibilities. Peter O'Toole either needed this money for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Or Peter O'Toole really didn't need that money. And he just didn't want to not act.
This is what I don't understand. Is he slumming it?
He
or
was just like,
he
do I get to feel this girl's ass? I'm in.
Yeah, I think that's all it took to sell him.
Am I gonna get 2 handfuls of that tush? And they're like, do you want to do that? And he goes, yes, I do. And they went, will you do it for $4 million? He went, I think I will.
I would do it for free. Ooh,
I'll do it for $3 million. Well, we're gonna give you 4 and pretend like you asked for it.
So, but Helen Slater actually appears as a character in the Melissa Benoist Supergirl show, and she's not bad. She's still
that's at least one of the things that the Arrowverse has done very well is they have paid a lot of respect to the actors who have played the characters before them.
Yeah. Yeah, all right. Great work, Delhauer. Final question for you. Like we said, we're about to see yet another Supergirl, The Flash. What is your level of excitement for this movie coming out in about a month? Where you at?
Michael Keaton is my Batman,
Yes.
but I don't give a shit about the Flash in any form. Whether it is Ezra Miller or Grant Gustin or whoever else.
Yeah.
I find the Flash to be such a boring ass character. All of your fucking villains are just you.
Yes, it's true.
And every story you tell is, I have to learn how to run faster. Oh boy, I bet you will. Until you fucking disappear in the timeline and then another asshole has to take your place. So, I don't fucking care about The Flash, and I will probably wait until it is on streaming so I can watch Michael Keaton be Batman again.
Gotcha.
Because I don't need to be in the theater for it.
So Keaton
And then we're going to reboot the whole fucking universe and it won't matter.
Yeah.
And then all of the DC movies will just be the Guardians of the Galaxy, and I'll get sick of that shit too.
Is that where we're headed?
We'll I mean, look, I love James Gunn as a person, and I enjoyed his rendition of Suicide Squad. I did not watch any of a Peacemaker.
Yeah, it's great.
I'm sure it is, but I know what it's going to be.
Yeah.
And I don't need an overabundance of that.
It's got Jennifer Holland in it.
Cool. It's going to be the same shit.
Yeah.
And I know it is. And look, I am one who's going to say, look, man, if you can write the same script 15 times and get paid the same amount of money every time for it, good for you.
You do.
Good for you for getting into that position in your career.
You do.
But you know what I don't need to do? Watch it.
Yeah, so Keaton's not even enough to get you into the seats here. So.
I will not be in the theater for that fucking movie.
I'm looking forward to it.
I don't know what it is about Ezra Miller that DC decided after you have been literally kidnapping children and force feeding them drugs that we're not going to cancel your movie.
Yeah.
But I don't need to support that shit.
Yeah. Maybe he's better. Maybe he took the help.
All right, first off, it's they. Get your shit
they.
together.
Sorry, maybe they are better. You're right. Apologize.
Now, beyond that, will I check out the Superman movie that James Gunn makes? Yes, I will.
Okay.
Here's why.
Okay.
Because Zack Snyder's Superman was fucking garbage.
Okay. Yeah.
I know that a lot of people are going to get mad because so many people fucking love Henry Cavill. So do I. I really enjoyed The Witcher. I thought he was great in that. I thought he was the worst Superman we've ever had. Because Superman doesn't need to be fucking moody and brooding and killing people to be relatable.
Yeah.
The whole point of Superman is that he is an ideal we live up to. So he should be happy. He should be the fucking best person ever.
Hopeful.
And he should not be a person I ever fucking relate to. Because I don't get to be him. Batman's a fucking shitbox. That's why everyone loves him, because we can all see ourselves getting that fucking dark.
Yeah.
And you know what? Batman's a whole point where you're supposed to say, I don't ever want to be that guy either.
Yeah.
Because if Batman was a good man, he would have just spent all of his money as a billionaire
helping
on things like social reformation.
Yes, social change.
Instead of punching fucking clowns who happen to be also homeless people.
So it looks like the trick is to try to cast a new Superman that looks just like Henry Cavill. Is that what they're going to go for?
Sure, whatever. It could even be Henry Cavill as long as he's not a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
My feeling is Tyler
Hoechlin. He's great. Tyler Hoechlin.
Thank you. From Superman and Lois.
Yep.
Probably one of my favorite Supermen since Chris Reeve.
Wow, that's high praise. He's very good though. I do like him.
He is one who understands that Superman's entire point is that he is not meant to be brooding or mean or upsetting or fighting people for the fact of hurting them.
Yeah.
He recognizes I am a symbol of hope for the people that see me, and therefore I should always be the thing they want to be.
Yeah. But that's a writing issue, right? That's
That's absolutely a writing issue. I
directorial
don't blame
producer issue, right?
I don't blame Henry Cavill for the Superman he
But
played.
he's got that stain on him now.
But he's got so much fucking Zack Snyder on him that I cannot see him again. I'm sorry. I love you to death. You're a cutie patootie. Get the fuck out of my movies.
We burned through them.
Yeah, well, we'll see what's going on with this James Gunn movie. Like, I'm hoping he does a good job.
And if he comes back, great. I hope it's enough to make me say, you know what? It made up for all the shit that you got forced to be in before this.
Like, I think there was a fatigue with Superman being like the Boy Scout. I think this is what happens. In the 90s, we're post Dark Knight, and that was like something that was seminal. It was like, it changed the whole entire landscape of comics because they were considered for little kids and stupid and like, whatever. And then they all of a sudden grew up overnight.
Yeah.
And I think Zack Snyder grew up in that time.
Yeah.
And he thought, oh, well, let me do to Superman what was done to Batman and make him like this grittier character. And maybe I'll get credit for like changing Superman and making him more relatable. But he just went, I just think that he went in the wrong direction. That Man of Steel movie was shitty, but like if he didn't do a few things, I think it would be a lot better. And it just he didn't get it. He was the wrong guy to shepherd in the new era of Superman.
My feelings for Zack Snyder and Superman were A, Zack Snyder wanted to make a Batman movie.
Right.
And I think he begged WB to let him make a Batman movie. And they went, dude, after Chris Nolan, are you fucking insane? And he was like, no, please, I could do a Batman movie. It'll be dark, and it'll be gritty, and it'll be great. And they went, no, man, no, we're not going to do that. But we do want to do Superman. And I feel like Zack Snyder's attitude was, A, I don't want to fucking do Superman.
Exactly.
I want to do a Batman
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
And they were like, look, if you do a Superman movie that'll make us $1 billion, we'll let you make a Batman movie. And he was like, all right, fine. So then he immediately was like, all right, Chris Nolan, will you help me make a Superman movie? And Nolan went, no, but I'll produce it because I want your money. It's like, fine. Hey, who did you write the Batman movies with? David S. Goyer.
Oh, give me that guy.
Hey, David, will you make a Superman movie with me? Or are you going to pay me? Sure. And so he rewrote Batman Begins, but it was Superman that time. And guess what? It was stupid. But Snyder didn't care because as long as the movie got made, he was like, well, it's going to make $1 billion. You idiots will watch whatever. And then everyone was like, oh, missed the mark on this one, didn't you, bud?
Yeah.
So WB went, okay, you didn't make $1 billion. We won't just give you a Batman movie, but you do have to do another movie for us to prove you could do it. He goes, all right, what if I do Batman and Superman?
Can I do Batman now?
And they were like, yeah, Batman and Superman will probably make us $1 billion. He goes, okay, I'll do Batman and Superman. Yeah, but like, they can't just be like friends, right? He's like, I'll make them fight each other. That'll make you a lot of money. Like, yeah, no,
This sounds like the pitch meeting of the movie. Absolutely. Because how do you not make $1 billion with Batman and Superman in the headline, in the title? What the fuck? I mean, he has a tendency to deconstruct things without ever like constructing them first. So it didn't work.
That is probably the most apt thing I've ever heard about him is deconstruction without construction.
He never bothered to construct the fucking thing. He's like, I'm just going to take
shit,
it down.
I forgot. You have to establish a world before you can break it down.
Maybe try that.
Yeah.
But we're beyond that era. We're in the James Gunn era. We're going to get a new Supergirl. This is a good character. There's a lot of potential here, not in this movie, but in the other things we've seen. So,
God willing,
good work, Delhauer.
we can get some shit that's going to be worth watching and not this trash.
Yeah. I mean, high percentage that it can't get worse. I mean, it can, but
you could blow your nose into a fucking napkin and call it a Supergirl movie, and I would probably go, yeah, you know what? I bet that'll be worthwhile.
Well, they're using that Tom King book as reference, and I know he's a good writer, and I've heard great things. The art in that book is amazing.
Tom King is a good writer. He's a good dude. I met him fucking years ago.
Oh.
Back when, here we go, everyone take a shot, when I was working for Nerdist.
Oh, yeah, the Nerdist days when you were, that's the first time you were on here.
Back when I was fucking relevant.
Well,
and so was Chris Hardwick.
Yo, Nerdist is barely relevant now. Come on, really.
No, it's not. But yeah, Tom, this was back in the days when Tom King was a struggling writer just trying to get noticed for writing, like, The Unit, I think it was called.
Yeah.
But it was like I met him and I met Mitch Gerrits back before they were, doing like super big DC books, and they're both fucking great dudes. Like, please support them and everything that they do. Like, they're amazing guys. You should read their stuff. They're up for an Eisner Award right now.
Oh, nice.
For Batman One Bad Day Riddler.
Oh, I want to read that.
So please go read it, go support them, go vote for them. They deserve it. They're absolutely top of their game. The end, I guess.
Right on. No, I was going to say, this concludes, listener, the 18th edition of What the Fuck Happened. You can find all of them on our website. There's a little drop down that has all the What the Fuck Happened shows. Please support the show so we can pay for counseling for Delhauer, because we have broken him. We have hurt him. All for your enjoyment.
I am going to start chewing glass. I swear to fucking God.
Oh, God. No, it's over, Delhauer. The movie's over. You don't have to ever watch this again. I commend you, and I thank you.
But
for
I
your
do
service.
offer up to the listeners, please, outside of just listening to the other What the Fuck Happened movies, please suggest what you want to hear next. I would love to be back sooner than a year and a half or whatever the fuck the time jump was. Like, I love being here. I love working with you guys. I love doing this. No matter how much I fucking hate some of the movies we watch, I love doing this because at least I get to have fun complaining. I try to do it in the most entertaining way possible so that it's not just a white guy screaming at you. It's also at least funny enough that you feel like you gain something other than just getting yelled at.
Well, Ruggs had the best description of it. Ruggs, remember what you said?
What?
You probably don't. It's like the most sarcastic audiobook you're ever going to listen to, which is fucking dead on. But look, we're going to try to do this with more frequency every few months. This writer's strike is going to leave a hole somewhere coming up of nothing's coming out. Everything's delayed. So we'll get you in then. And just leave us suggestions.
I promise all of you, I was talking to Imran about it before. We at least have something somewhat special planned for the 20th version.
Yes.
The 20th episode of What the Fuck Happened.
Yeah, that's going to be a big one.
So we got to get through 19.
Yep.
So let's find something we all want to listen to so we can get that out of the way.
And then we got a plan for 20.
And then we
What
can
the
get to
fuck
20
happened
and we could do something real fucking good.
God, did you ever think back when we did the Spider-Man 3, we'd be doing 20 of these?
I didn't think you guys would ever talk to me again. So, the idea that we did a 2 was really one of those things where it was like, oh, fuck, man, this hit, and it hit hard, and people are wanting to hear it again.
It was great, yeah. And I allowed it despite, Spider-Man was my favorite, and I was like, oh, boy. But then it was fucking amazing.
That was the funny thing, was especially the fact that, the first episode we ever did, it wasn't even What the Fuck Happened at the time.
Yeah.
It was a crossover between various podcasts that was like, oh, we're all doing Spider-Timber.
Yes, it was Spider-Timber. Oh, my God.
It was so we're all going to do stuff about Spider-Man. And so I remember talking to Imran. He's like, well, I used to be on How I Jump, and, we're going to cross over, he's like, Imran's like, well, what can you do? I'm like, I don't know, man. I could talk about how shitty Spider-Man 3 was. He's like, okay, sure.
Dude, Spider-Timber was great. Shout out to Place to Hang Your Cape, David Malofsky. He put that all together, I think, or he was part of it.
I'm going to say this as well. The fact that's still going on as well, good on David.
Yeah.
Good for him, because I still follow them, and I still see their stuff popping up all the time on, my Instagram feed.
Yeah, he's been running that site a year longer than we've been around. They were in a year we started, and he's still going. So
everybody who isn't How Do I Jump is still going.
Yeah.
How do I jump?
What about those British dudes that were listening to us?
That was Malofsky.
No, that you're talking about 365
Northumberland.
Flicks. Yes, Kevin Halden.
Are they still around?
Oh, yeah.
We don't do the podcast, but I see Kevin posting things. And
okay.
those guys were great. Northumberland, we surprised them with a Rug Boy visit, and then we had a crossover.
Also,
yeah,
one little quick thing I want to throw out there,
Yeah.
because I know we didn't mention it, but it is a little bit of comic book news.
Yeah.
R.I.P. today to Ray Stevenson.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Our favorite ever Punisher, if we ever talk about Punisher Warzone.
That's definitely a movie that we could do. He's great in Punisher Warzone, and
it's on our list, man. It'll come up at some point.
He was in RRR too, like most recently.
He was in RRR. He's coming up in the new season of Ahsoka.
He's in the Ahsoka show, so we will.
But his best role was Titus Polo. Everybody knows that.
Everybody knows that, man. Don't even pretend like that's a fucking piece of news.
Ray Stevenson's great. Yeah, that's sad.
Oh God, he wasn't in The Irishman. What was the fucking movie? Was it called Get the Irish or some shit like that? It was another fucking criminal movie where he played an Irishman because he is Irish.
Yeah, he did that in a lot of movies. Kill the Irishman, it was called.
That's it.
And he was in Thor, Volstagg as Thor.
Yes. He was one of the Heroes 3.
Oh, he's in an Accident Man movie too, Hitman's Holiday. With Scott Adkins.
He's a bartender in that one.
But we'll see him in Ahsoka. He's only looks like he's in only one episode of Ahsoka, but still, he looked badass in that too.
I'm guessing it's a flashback, and I'm assuming he dies because otherwise that dude's gonna have to get recast, and that sucks.
Yeah, he was in the Thor movie. Yeah, so that's sad news. I don't think he was.
They didn't announce what it was yet, as far as I know, but he was 58 years old,
which is that's pretty young.
That's terrible.
Yeah, it's pretty young. Well, we're gonna end the show on a bummer then.
So no. Here's what we're gonna end it on. Hey, everybody, take care of yourselves. Love yourselves. Visit your doctors. I don't know what it was that got Ray Stevenson, but I guarantee you, it's probably something that a bunch of us might be able to prevent if we just take care of ourselves a little bit better.
I feel like you're talking directly at me right now.
Yeah,
Imran.
I probably should
fucking stop eating so much salt.
Take that advice.
You asshole.
Let me tell you, I feel great.
Drink more water.
Yeah, no, this is all good advice.
I mean, look, man, I'm one who has to get my cholesterol and my fucking blood pressure down myself.
Walk around more.
The age of 33, so I'm right behind you, man.
Ray Stevenson used to live in Northumberland. Look at that, tying it together. He was raised there. I'm gonna go. Let me make an appointment with my doctor. Ruggs, where can the listener find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at Really Rug Boy. That's about it. I'm there. You can find me there.
You want to plug anything? How can they get in touch with you?
Most socials, whether it is Twitter, Instagram, or TikTok, you can find me at MattyDVO. That's Matty, MattyDVO 72. Or if you want, I stream weekly, usually on Tuesdays, but sadly not this week, but mostly on Tuesdays at MattyDVO. You can find me and a bunch of my friends usually playing things like Phasmophobia, Deceive Inc., or God forbid it's a day where you have to deal with only me. Who knows what I'll play, but I'll try to be entertaining. And if I'm not, fuck you.
On the Twitch, of course, is where...
Twitch.tv/MattyDVO.
There you go. Thanks for listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast. We will peep you next time.
I really don't give a shit. Not funny. Fuck that show. Fuck that movie.
Jock and Nerd.